Hello, and welcome to Connect DC's Mabon Fall Equinox Ritual. I'm Angela Raincatcher, the convener for Connect DC. We are a public, Wiccan-based ritual group that seeks to heal and transform the city of Washington, DC through magic, mystery, and celebration. Connect DC seeks to build relationships within our community and with the earth itself, in order to further our right relationship with the land and the people who have tended and held it sacred from time immemorial. We acknowledge that we normally hold our rituals on the ancestral lands of the Nacotchtank, Pamunkey, Piscataway, Powhatan, Saponi, Seneca, Tutelo, and other peoples whose names we may not yet know and are committed to learning. We pay respect to their elders, past and present, and we honor their truths. I encourage you to fully participate in this ritual by holding the words in your heart and following the actions described either physically or in your mind's eye. For the working today, you will want an edible fruit, vegetable, or berry, something that you don't mind eating raw, and something to drink. Cider or juice would be perfect, as would water. If you are new to ritual, don't worry. We will describe everything that we are doing as we go. And now, I turn it over to Lisette for purification and the history of Connect DC.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lisette, and I will lead us in purification and the reading of the history of Connect DC. So, as we move to purify ourselves and prepare ourselves for ritual, we're going to, if it is your practice, use incense or a small bowl of water, or salt water in particular. I will also assist in the astral for you as well, for all who see this, and all who will see this now and in the future. Excuse me. Familiars can help purify too, if they want. So I'm going to ring this bell 3 times. As you hear the sound, feel the vibration of the bell ring through your energetic bodies and shaking loose the stagnancy or ick or stress. And now, take a deep breath in and release it, feeling cleansed and refreshed. So, the roots of Connect DC go back to 1998, when our founder, Katrina Messenger, was looking for ways to meld her Wiccan spiritual practice with her long-term political activism. That spring, she attended the public spring equinox ritual put on by the ritual planning cell of the Reclaiming Collective in San Francisco. She returned home with the idea of starting a public ritual group in her hometown of DC. The first ritual was held for summer solstice 1998 on the roof of the now closed Llamas Women's Bookstore. After discussing her idea for the original working with numerous friends and colleagues, Katrina launched Connect DC in the spring of 1999. The original working of Connect DC was to ritually connect the boundary stones that had been placed around the city in the 1790s and gave the city some good magical boundaries. The original working began at spring equinox 1999 and concluded a year later at spring equinox 2000. After that, Connect DC celebrated the solstices and equinoxes around the city in a stop, drop, and do ritual manner for several years before adding Samhain and then the other cross-quarter rituals. In 2013, we began holding our rituals at Two Rivers Sanctuary. And in 2017, we added full moons to the mix. In 2019, to celebrate and honor the 20th anniversary of Katrina's vision and the original working, Connect DC revisited the boundary stones with the intent to reinvigorate the city's magical boundaries and create a strong container for our community. And now I turn it over to Aurelia to read our ritual intention for the year and for Mabon, and to lead us in grounding.
Hi, everyone. My name is Aurelia, and it's wonderful to be here with all of you. Each year, the Connect DC Ritual Circle crafts an intention to guide our work. This year, our annual intention is: our community is a vibrant container of healing, hope, transformation, and joy. Connect DC provides a sacred space where we can connect with our deepest selves and each other. By celebrating the cycles of nature, we fill ourselves with love and pour that love into the world. Our intention for Mabon and the fall equinox ritual today. At Mabon, we celebrate and give thanks for the earth's abundant harvest, and we share our blessings with the world. We are nourished by the fruits of our labor, and we are the fruits of our labor. To further prepare ourselves, let us ground and center into the present moment and into our bodies. Take a deep breath in and let it out. As you continue to breathe in and out, feel your breath filling your lungs and releasing with tension and with all that you need to let go. Feel the weight of your body, whether you're sitting or lying or standing. Feel yourself fully supported by the chair or the floor or the earth. Feel the touch of whatever you're wearing, even your hair sitting on your head. As you breathe, perhaps there's a scent in the air of incense. Whatever smells are in your space, take those in. Allow them to help you be present. If your eyes have been closed, open them and look around. What do you see? Perhaps something green, something red, something orange. Allow all your senses to bring yourself present. Feel the earth holding you and supporting you. Feel the connection to source in your bones as they hold your source, your ancestors, and the stuff of stars of which we are all made. And here we find ourselves, between the earth and the starry heavens, fully present and alive, fully human and divine. Welcome to our ritual. And now Harper will lead us in casting the circle. Harper, we can't hear you yet, but we will. Here we go.
Thank you, Aurelia. Now, we will create together a container for the work that we do by casting a circle which will bring us together on the astral plane. Now, I need your help to cast the circle. No matter your level of experience, we are going to create this harvest circle together so that it encircles every one of us. I want you to begin by imagining the energy of the world around you being gathered into the palm of your dominant hand. Take a moment, feel that energy being gathered in. When it gets warm and tingly, you can almost feel a little hum or spark. You're going to cast it in front of you to the farthest point that you can see, wherever that is. Now I want you to imagine a line of bright blue energy going out from your hand like a fishing line. And in whatever way is accessible and comfortable for you, pull that line in an arc towards the right, towards and over your right shoulder. Breathe and keep the line of energy solid as you draw the circle further around directly behind you as far as you can imagine. Draw it beyond and over your left shoulder and pull it to connect to the line you started directly in front of you. Now pull that connected line above you into the heavens and bring it down under the ground below you and back up around to meet the point in front of you where you started. Hold on to the image of the circle you've surrounded yourself with, surrounded all of us with. And on your next exhale, imagine the energy bursting to fill up the circle like a balloon. The circle is cast. We are between the worlds, and what happens between the worlds affects all the worlds. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
And now, Aurelia will call in the elements.
Let us now call in the elements to aid in our work. If you know where the cardinal directions are in your own space, you may choose to face them as I call the elements in each direction. I call to the air in the east. I call to the wind that carries the soothing breeze, the sounds of joy and rage, and the cleansing summer rain. I call to the winds that carry news of what is coming into being and what yet lies beyond. I call to the voice within each of us that calls out to one another and speaks truth. Hail and welcome, air. I call to the fire in the south. I call to the life-giving sun that ripens the earth and brings the first harvest. I call to the long hours of light that let us see clearly where we are and the paths that lie before us. I call to the forge that shapes and strengthens. I call to the fire that sustains us deep in our hearts, that calls us to each other and to a better world. Hail and welcome, fire. I call to the earth in the west. I call to the earth that always, always holds and supports us. I call to the earth that measures time in eons and contains all that is conceived, gestating, growing, and living. I call to the earth that can hold our pain, that is always working to heal itself and us, its children. I call to our bones that carry the sorrows and the wisdom of our ancestors and hold us up in our work. I call to the soil that brings forth riches. Hail and welcome, earth. I call to the water in the north. I call to the branches and streams and rivers that feed into our mother ocean. I call to the oceans of tears that we cry in our rage and our grief. I call to our blood, the pulse of life that connects us to all water and all life. I call to the tide that shifts and turns. I call to the capacity within each of us to open our hearts so that we may freely receive and give in the unending flow of love. Hail and welcome, water. And now Lizette will lead us in calling the ancestors.
Now, let us call to the ancestors and invite them into our circle. I call to the ancestors, those of blood, of spirit, and of the land. We ask for your guidance, for your remembrance, your stories. I call to those who remember how to lay down your tools. You know the ways of feasting and celebrating, those who know how to build fires to stack the bounty and provide meals for the community. You who are the keepers of family recipes, of echoes of music and laughter, and the reminder that joy is an act of resistance. I call to the homemakers, the harvesters, those who protected the cultivators of the land. In the words of ancestor Cesar Chavez and the living elder Dolores Huerta, sí se puede. I call to the ancestors who remind us to feast in times of sorrow and struggle, to Jewish ancestors, to indigenous ancestors, to colonized ancestors, to ancestors who lived in war and famine, to immigrant and refugee ancestors. I call to our ancestors, be with us. We ask for nurturing, and we ask for the reminders that we may nurture ourselves and each other. Hail and welcome, sacred ancestors. And now Angela will begin the call to the gods in our circle.
All of us come from different peoples, different lands, and different traditions. Harvest comes at different times of the year depending on where you live and what you plant or gather. But the cycle of planting and tending and reaping, followed by celebrating the harvest with feasting and coming together as a community, that is found in every culture that practices agriculture of some type. And so today, we are going to call to all of the deities, all of the gods, all of the goddesses, and all of the spirits of the growing things and of the harvest. And I know that I won't be able to invite them all by name. So if you have specific harvest deities to invite, say their names out loud and or type their names into the comments and we will say them too. We call to Demeter and Ceres. We call to Dagon and Tammuz. We call to Dionysus and Pomona. We call to Oko and Osiris. We call to Parvati and to Frere and to Lu. We call to all of the gods and goddesses of the harvest and of the plants that we harvest. We call to all of the spirits of the plants that are harvested around the world. We call to Pachamama. Yes. We call to you. We honor all of you today, and we invite you to our harvest table to share in the feast that you have made possible. We ask for the honor of your presence and your blessings as we celebrate. We call to Persephone. Yes, thank you. We call to, I'm going to mess this up, I apologize. We call to Matair, who is the lamb beneath the feet. We call to Misha, who is every green thing and the fruit of the harvest. Thank you. We call to you, we invite you to our table. We invite you to our celebration. Hail and welcome. The holiday that we celebrate today is known by many names, but the focus of the celebration of is of the harvest and sharing the abundance of the earth as a community. Now, many of us are not farmers. I'm not a farmer. And for some of us, the harvest may not really have a visceral meaning for us. We get our food at the store, and with industrial agriculture, things are pretty much in season all the time, or so it seems. But I know that if you do garden, and more of us are these days, you get a firsthand lesson in the cycles of planting, tending, harvesting, and then resting and enjoying before we begin planning for the next cycle. And we can learn a lot from the plant world because we see this pattern in almost everything we do. We see it in the projects that we take on for our jobs, the projects that we do around the house, and the projects that we develop for our community. All of these have that same cycle of planning. What is it that you're going to do? Planting, taking the initial ideas and making sure that they're nourished, that they are cared for, so that they can grow. Tending them, making adjustments when things need to be adjusted. And then there's that waiting time, that time right before. It's like, oh gosh, is it going to be ready? And then it's finally ready and there's a lot of work to do. And then once all that work is done and things are open, things are done and presented to the world, things are harvested, the enjoyment, and then the resting and the reflection. Where we give ourselves some downtime to recover and to reflect, to be proud of the good work that we have done. And then the cycle repeats. It starts over as we take the lessons learned from the past cycles to plan for the next one. But today is for enjoying and sharing our harvest. And so I invite you to bring your representation of the harvest, a piece of fruit or vegetable or berries, Bring it close to you, and if you can hold it in your hand, just take it into your hands. And then first, bring your attention to your breath. Observe how your body moves with each breath in and each breath out. Notice the movement and the changes in the air as it moves in and out of your body. Maybe you notice a difference in the temperature. And allow yourself to come to stillness, so that as you breathe, you can feel the subtle shifts and movements along your skin and in your body. And now bring your attention to your hands, where they come in contact with your harvest. Notice its weight. Run your hands or your fingers along its surface and notice its texture. Notice the temperature of it against your skin. Open your eyes and look at its color or colors. Move it around in your hands and look at it from different sides, different perspectives. Notice how the light reflects off of the skin. Become familiar with its external shape. Now lift it up to your nose and breathe in. Does it have a smell? Breathe in again and let your nose really notice any subtle hints and scents. And now, imagine that the surface of your fingers and hands and the surface of your harvest are not as solid as they may first seem. Your senses begin to seep into the harvest you are holding, down into the flesh of your harvest. Imagine and notice, what does this feel like? Your atoms and the harvest's atoms begin to mingle, exchanging information and energy. Observe and feel. Gently push your energetic fingers in deeper. Can you feel the life force pulsing through the harvest in your hands? Take some time to not just feel it, but to learn from it, to know it, to share with it your life force. You may begin to feel a thrill through your body as you continue in this communion with your harvest. Open yourself to it. Allow the harvest to explore you as you explore it. And now, bring it to your mouth and breathe in. Take a bite and taste it. Truly taste it. Feel the texture of its flesh and the taste of the flavor of its juices. This is just another way of integrating the harvest into your body, into your spirit. Imagine that you can feel the life force of the harvest in your mouth and in your belly, and feel that begin to move through your entire being. What does that feel like? And how is it moving through you? Everything that you have worked for, everything that we have worked for, we must know it intimately and bring it into ourselves and enjoy it. Enjoy it. This is a tasty apple. Enjoy it. And if you want to, take a drink with the same mindfulness with which you ate and experienced your harvest. Drink and let its life force move through you. And just notice. And let that energy, that life force from the harvest, let it feed your body. Let it feed your body and feel the energy of the harvest intimately. Joyously. And if you wish to share what that was like for you, what you noticed about your harvest, please put that in the comments. We'd love to see and hear from you. As I thought about this working this week and then holding this apple while I did this, it's just amazing to me the intimacy and the exchange of energy between me and the harvest, me and this apple. I noticed things I had never noticed before. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. The strawberries told Allison, don't wait, don't wait. They're like, eat me now. Lisette says it's so clear how much it takes for growth to getting to this point. Yes, there's a lot of work that happens. We should enjoy it. Definitely. Definitely. And I kind of wish we were all there together physically, that we could share our harvest with each other. And Aurelia says she made a connection with all life in the apple seed, with the tree that is within and the tree from which it came, and all trees. Oh, it's so beautiful. It brought tears. And she's still searching for words. Yeah, sometimes these things go beyond words, and they're just so very visceral to us when we can connect into that life force. Fresh fruit from local farms. Yes, definitely. Definitely. And if it's something from your own garden, awesome. Ah, you could taste the apple with me. Excellent. No, that doesn't cross a boundary at all. No, dear Cora, I'm so glad that that came through. Excellent. The harvest of Adam's work as a healer and the new growth. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's beautiful. I'm going to jump the gun a little bit because we after this live stream, we're going to open up a Zoom so we can do some interaction. So if you're here with us now, we're going to be posting a Zoom link in the comments for right after this ritual. We would love for you all to join us, and we can actually talk to each other. It'd be very awesome. I'll finish my apple then. Okay, so Aurelia says that she got the message that we can all have that connection, and all we need to do is bring our attention to it. Yes, ma'am. And the apple and ginger beer were so sweet. And then Tony had a huge epiphany at the moments of perfection and beauty that happened this year to allow the harvest to happen. Absolutely. I mean, it's been a tough year for a lot of us, and yet we still have beauty, and we still have the harvest. Absolutely. Excuse me, I gotta wipe my nose. So I'm going to transition from this directly into giving thanks for the harvest, for today's experience, and for teaching. I'm gonna adjust. I'm gonna read Nancy's, because she also said, so much energy to plant the apple tree and then waiting for them to grow in the work of harvesting. What a wonderful thing to have a beautiful gift from the goddess. Absolutely. Tony, yes, opened up, got a chance to celebrate some recent things that he'd just been too damn tired to celebrate. So I'm glad that we were able to facilitate and have a container for that joy. So let us give thanks. Give thanks to the spirits of the plant world. Give thanks to the deities and the spirits of the harvest that were invited and who joined us today, who guided our hands throughout the year so that we may have this beautiful harvest, that we may celebrate it and share it. Thank you for your guiding hands and for your blessings in making the harvest manifest. Go if you must, but stay if you will. Hail and farewell. And now I turn it over to Lisette to lead us in thanking the ancestors.
Thank you, Angela. Sacred ancestors, we thank you for reminding us that we must enjoy the fruits of our labor, that we must share in our harvest and seek abundance for ourselves and each other. Thank you for reminding us that we stand with those who have survived and thrived, who fed and fought for their families and communities. We have each other. We have you to guide and advise us and remind us. Thank you for your unending support and blessings. Hail and farewell. And now, Aurelia will lead us in thanking the elements.
Thank you, Lizette. We give thanks to the water for your flow of endless love, for your cleansing rains, for bearing our grief, quenching our souls, and for returning us to life. May we continue to receive and give all that we need. And with this prayer in our hearts, we give you thanks, water, and we bid you hail and farewell. We give thanks to the earth that holds us all. We give thanks to the bones that hold us up and carry our ancestors' wisdom. May we carry their strength and heed their lessons. And with this prayer in our hearts, we give you thanks, earth, and we bid you hail and farewell. We give thanks to the fire for teaching us that the flame in our hearts and in the heart of all life sustains us and must always be fed. May we carry that flame inside us always. And with this prayer in our hearts, we give you thanks, fire, and we bid you hail and farewell. We give thanks to the air that keeps breath in our bodies and to the wind that whispers in our ears to keep going, to cry out, to stand up, to build and make, to sing and dance, to continue, because the future is there for us. May we feel the wind at our backs and sail true. And with this prayer in our hearts, we give you thanks, air, and we bid you hail and farewell. And now Harper will lead us in opening the circle.
Draw your focus now back to the circle we cast together. If you can see the image on the screen, see how the circle should be unwinding, or see in your mind's eye. Imagine pulling that energy, that bright blue energy of our circle, into your non-dominant hand, starting from below you and above you into a tight little ball. And pull that energy in front of you, unwinding the circle towards the left, towards your left shoulder. Unwind it behind you, gathering the energy into your hand, back and over your right shoulder. And then the last little bit in front of you. Gather that energy into a tight little ball in your hand. Then, with your next exhale, blow it out to disperse it into the universe. The circle is open, but unbroken. May the peace of the gods go in our hearts. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. And now, Lisette will share with us some announcements.
All right. So we have a few upcoming events, all of which will be live streamed here on our Facebook page, Connect DC, until further notice. So first up, we have our full moon meditation on Thursday, October 1st at 7:30 p.m. Next, we will have our dark moon message with Katrina Messenger on Friday, October 16th at 7:30 p.m. We'll have the following full moon meditation on Friday, October 30th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Samhain is on Sunday, November 1st at 12 p.m. Remember that there is a time change back to standard. We fall back an hour. Also, there is a new module of the Reflections Mystery Schools Seekers Program, which starts on October 10th. The topic is magic and ritual, and the application period as well for the Reflections Celestials program is currently open. So you can get more info and register for classes at reflectionsdc.org. One last thing. After the ritual, as Angela said, we are hosting a virtual fellowship for everyone here with us live on Zoom. We are posting the link in the comments, and we hope to see you there. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for upholding the magic. We hope that you had a wonderful experience. We invite you to leave a comment, let us know about your experience and how we can improve for our future online offerings. So, good afternoon. May the gods be with you, and blessed be until next time.